So for the others, now we can actually start our lesson from the beginning. Very nice lesson actually. You have to learn so many things. Very important, not just a lesson. Okay, not just a lesson for the exam. You can for the your life also really important things there. Okay, so you can actually learn so many things, so many important things from this lesson. Okay, now I hope you all have a writing book by now, so you can actually write the topic this way. Human circulatory system. You can write the topic there. Oh, here in this lesson, we are discussing so many important actually subtopics there. Like we discuss about, especially we discussed about the parts of the heart and how heart works. And again, we discussed about arteries, veins, capillaries. And again, we discussed about blood groups and blood transfusion nodes. Okay, so that these kind of things we discuss under this lesson. So when we come to our human circulatory system, so this is the system in our body. But the other systems in our body, you have learned from grade 7. You are starting to, yeah, you are starting studying human systems, human body systems from grade 7. What are the systems you have learned in grade 7 and grade 8? Yes, grade 7, what did you learn there? දැන් ඉතින් මයික් ඕෆ් කරගෙන නිකන් ගොළු මිනිස් වගේ ඉන්න එපා. පොඩ්ඩක් මයික් ඕෆ් කරලා කතා කරන්න. Okay, digestive system. Okay, digestive system. Again, you have learned even about the respiratory system in grade 7 and grade 8 you have learned what? Urinary system. Okay, respiratory system, urinary system you have learned. So three systems are learned by now. This is the fourth system that you learn. In grade 10 you discuss, again grade 10, 11 is always classes. So grade 10 you discuss in detail about human reproductive system, and grade 11, again you discuss all these systems together. Digestive system, respiratory system, urinary system, circulatory system, and some more. Endocrine system. Okay, so likewise, different actual systems you discuss again in detail in grade 11. Grade 11, second term. By now, after grade 11 students study this that lesson. Okay, so here we discuss very simple things about the lesson. So in the human circulatory system, you have the idea circulation. Circulatory means circulation happens in our body. The circulation, actually, the blood circulation happens in our body. You know this one. So if there is a cut in our hand or in our body parts, what happens is, you know, it's bleeding. So it's bleeding means what happens there, you know, in our, throughout our body, you have seen the pictures sometimes there are blood vessels. There are so many blood vessels in our body, everywhere. Okay? Sometimes when you look at your eyes, the white part of our eye, you can see some small eye, very thin red colorful lines there. These are actually small blood vessels. Okay? So throughout our body, we can see blood vessels there. So in these blood vessels, what happens is blood transportation happens, blood circulation happens. So throughout our body, the blood circulation happens. So we discuss how this one happens. So in this circulatory system, when the blood circulation happens in this system, that is really important thing. See, blood circulation is really important thing. So this happens only in the living live bodies. If the when the person die, when if a person die means what happens is this blood circulatory system does not work at all. It's completely stopped. Okay, so blood does not transform. So that's what happens. It means the heart also stopped there. Okay, so in this system, mainly there are three things which include in this system. Okay, so when we digestive system, if you remember, grade 7, digestive system, you know, there are different parts. Our mouth cavity is there, esophagus, stomach, again small intestine, large intestine, again anus, again liver, again gallbladder. So many actually pancreas, so many actually parts there in the human digestive system. If we come to our respiratory system, again we have there are so many actually parts there. But when we come into human circulatory system, there are actually mainly three things included there. The first thing is blood. Blood is there. Blood is part of the system. And again, vessels there. Vessels, blood vessels there. Okay, so through the blood vessels, this blood just transport, circulate. And third one is heart. Heart is one of the main organs here. So heart is the one which pump in blood. The pumping blood function is done by the heart. Okay, so very important thing. So these are the parts. We take these are the parts of the human circulatory system. So we discuss about blood a bit in this lesson, and we discuss about vessels. So when we come to vessels or systems, we discuss three types of vessels in our human body. We discuss arteries, veins, and capillaries. We will discuss later. So there are three vessel types in our body. So we discussed the differences, the places where they locate, everything later. So this is one thing. And again the heart. So we give the our highest priority for this lesson, in this lesson for the heart. Because when the questions come, okay, when the questions come from this lesson, I think like 60%, 70%, definitely the questions they are from the heart. Mainly labeling parts of the heart. That's the main question that you are getting in your term test also. If sometimes the unit test, if you have a unit test, you will get even that one. Okay. So the main thing is discussing the parts of the heart here. Clear? Do we have the idea about the lesson a bit now? Okay. දැන් මට එක දාලා හිතෙනවා මම මේ රත්මලාන අර තියෙන අන්ද ගුරු බීරි පාසලේ ගණනවද කියලා කිසිම කතාවක් නැහැ කිසිම රෙස්පොන්ස් එකක් නැහැ. ඒකට හරිම පොඩි පන්ති ළමයි නම් එහෙම නැහැ. Yes teacher, no teacher. කොයි වෙලාවෙත් මයික් එක ඔන් කරගෙන ඉතින් කතා කරනවා ප්‍රශ්න වලට උත්තර දෙනවා. හරිම කැමති මේ ප්‍රශ්න වලට උත්තර දෙන්න. මේ දැන් grade 9 වෙනකොට grade 10 වෙනකොට මේගොල්ලන්ගේ කටවල් වැහෙනවා. දැන් ප්‍රශ්නෙදී එතන මට අයිතිය එකක් නැහැ මෙයා තේරුම් ගත්තද නැද්ද නිකන් ටීචර් ඕනනම් කියා දෙන්න නැත්නම් අපි නිකන් ඉන්නවා වගේ එහෙම දන්නේ නැද්ද so please switch on your camera my kid is may talk okay it's completely fine when I ask question we had to talk okay so we will write down this one I hope you all have the writing book there so you can write this one the circulatory system, the circulatory system, the circulatory system, the circulatory system transports blood throughout the human body. Throughout the human body. Okay, circulatory system transport blood throughout the body. Next point. It is a closed system. What is meant by closed system? Closed system. If I ask a question now, digestive system. Is it a closed system or open system? Respiratory system. Is it open system or closed system? What do you think? Digestive system is open or closed one? Yes. ළමයි ඉතින් ආන්සර් එකක් දෙන්න ඕනේ. හරියන්න හරි වැරදින්න හරි ආන්සර් දෙන්න ඕනේ. Digestive system is closed one, open one. It's an open one actually. Why open? Because here two openings in the digestive system. Our mouth cavity and again anus. And when you come to our respiratory system, again our nose open. It's also open system. But when we come normally, so many when you come to other systems also, most of the systems are open systems. But the blood circulatory system is a closed one. It means, can we see any openings in this system? Can we see the can we actually see the opening of this system? No, because if our circulatory system is open, what happens is then it is bleeding. Okay, so when you have a wound, what happens is by bleeding from your wound is then your system has opened. Your circulatory system has become open. That's why it's bleeding. Otherwise, when you are healthy, when you don't have any issue, your circulatory system is closed one. So it's just actually circulate throughout the system only, not coming out of the system. Okay, so that's the thing. So you can add second point here. It's a closed system. It's a closed system. Second point is it's a closed system. It's a closed system. Third point. It consists of what are the parts in the circulatory system? Three parts there, right? It consists of blood, vessels, and heart. Blood, vessels, and heart. Blood, vessels, and heart. Okay. Now we have discussed about human heart. So I said we are giving our main part to discuss about the heart. So I have shared the picture here, the parts of the heart you can see here. Okay. So this is such a diagram, the color diagram. You will get even this one with the tube. This color diagram you will get with your tubes. As a colored with the colored picture, you will get your tubes. So then you have then you actually discuss, we get even that. But now I am discussing with this soft copy. So in this one, now this is the parts of the heart normally we discuss. We have to draw even this one, okay? In a simple way, we are discussing this one. We are drawing even this one. So however, when we come to parts here, you can see here different parts there. Right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle, and again you can see here there's a part as aorta, and there's another part as superior vena cava, and inferior vena cava is not inferior vena cava is not shown here. Sorry, there is inferior vena cava, and again tricuspid valve, pulmonary valve, mitral valve, aortic valve. So likewise here, different things there. Okay, so you don't have any idea what are those parts. So we will discuss this one in detail. Okay, so why I am showing this picture, students? So in the exam, as I told you, they will ask to mark or label the parts of the heart most of the time. Okay, අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම term test එකේදී heart එකේ කොටස් නම් කරන්න එනවම තමයි. Certain term test එකේ නම් බොහෝ විට එනවා. කියලා මට sure වෙම කියන්න බෑ. හැබැයි 60% 70% chance එකක් තියෙනවා heart එක දීලා ඒකේ කොටස් නම් කරන්න. හරිද? දැන් මේ heart එක දැන් අද අපි අඳිනවා. නැත්නම් අපි අඳින්නේ මේ පිටුවර නෙමෙයි. Okay, we are drawing the parts of the heart today in this class. But we are not drawing this one. හද ළමයි ගොඩාක් කට්ටිය කන්න තමයි දැන් ඉස්කෝලේදී අඳින්න කිව්වොත් එහෙම අඳින්න මොකද්ද මේ පින්තූරද නැත්නම් කිසි පින්තූරද නැහැ. ඔයාලගේ ඉස්කෝලේදී they in the school they don't ask to draw the part they draw the heart. In the school is especially in the term test they don't ask to draw the heart and label. Drawing and labeling heart is not expected in your school term test. But they are asking actually labeling the parts of the heart. Okay, so here you can actually see the different parts there, but you don't have any idea මොකද්ද කොතනදී පටන් ගන්න කොතනින්ද ඉවර වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද මේක කොහෙද යන්නේ මොනවාක්වත් මෙන්න මේ පින්තූර බලවට පස්සේ තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ආවට කියලා කියලා දින මේ ආවට කොහෙන්ද එන්නේ? left atrium එකේද left ventricle එකේද කොහෙන්ද ආවේ? මේ inferior vena cava කොහෙන්ද මේක ඇවිල්ලා මේ open වෙන්නේ heart එකට? කොහෙන්ද මොකද්ද කියලා මුකුත් හොයාගන්න වෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ type එකේ පින්තූරවල. හරිද? මේ type එකේ පින්තූර තමයි අර textbook එකේ තියෙන්නේ. ඒත් මේ type එකේ පින්තූරවල හොයාගන්න බෑ කොහෙන්ද ඉන්නේ කොතනින්ද නතර වෙන්නේ මොනවාක්වත් හරියටම අර දිගිනගෙන යන්න හොයාගන්න අමාරුයි. Because of that one, what I'm doing is I'm drawing a simple diagram. कि මම බොහොම simple කරන diagram එක අඳින මේ heart එකේ parts එක. හැබැයි ඒ diagram එකේ තියෙන විදිහ නෙමෙයි heart එක ඇත්තටම තියෙන්නේ. heart එකේ ඇත්තටම කොටස් තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ විදිහට. හැබැයි මම මේ කොටස් ටික අපිට අකපුලක් වගන්න බැරි නිසා ඔයාලට පොඩ්ඩක් පහසු කරලා මම diagram එක අඳිනවා. එතකොට මේ මම diagram එකේ ඔයාලට පේනවා මෙතනින් තමයි මේ superior vena cava එක එන්නේ. මෙතනට තමයි inferior vena cava එක එන්නේ. ආවටට පටන් ගන්න මෙතනින්. දැන් අන්න ඒ වගේ අතර මේ mitral valve එක තියෙන්නේ මෙතන. ඒකට pulmonary valve තියෙන්නේ මෙතන. ඒ වගේ අර එකේ කොටස් තියෙන තැන හරියටම අඳුර ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා මම අඳින simple diagram එකේ. හැබැයි exam එකේදී බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්න එපා මම අඳින simple diagram එක නවා කියලා. ඇයි මම simple diagram එකක් අඳින්නේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට? The one and only reason is to actually show the parts of the heart clearly. Okay, අර ඔයාලට පැහැදිලි වෙන්න තමයි මම මේ diagram එක අඳින්නේ. හැබැයි ඉස්කෝලේදී ඉස්කෝලේදී මම අඳවන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි මේ විදිහට තමයි ඔයාලගේ term test එකේදී diagram එක එන්නේ. හරිද? ඒකද ඔබ මිස් කරගන්න එපා මම lesson එක පටන් ගන්න කලින් කියනවා ඉස්කෝලේදී ඔයාලගේ term test එකේදී අහන්නේ මේ diagram එක. හැබැයි මම ඔයාලට කොහොම simple short විදිහට මේ diagram එක අඳින්නේ ඒ ඔයාලට heart එකේ කොටස් ටික හරියට අවබෝධ කරගන්න ඕන නිසා. හරිද? Okay, I hope you got this. Okay, so we will come back to again the same diagram after we discuss the parts of the heart. So now we have to discuss the parts of the heart in detail. But before we discuss that one, I am just drawing this one first. Okay, we will draw this one first, and then we can start the discussing the functions and everything here. දැන් මම අදට මම කලින් කිව්වාගේ heart එකේ simple විදිහට මම simple version එක අඳින්නේ. You can write a topic here human heart. You can write a topic here human heart. Look at carefully how I am drawing this one. Then you can start the drawing. Use only pencil while you're drawing, don't use pens. In science, we don't draw anything with the pens. Now you can actually start the drawing. Now you can start. Okay? So when you're drawing here, students, I'm drawing this one the wall of the heart. So then the upper part, you can see the down part wall is bit thick. Okay. So consider this one and draw. Don't just draw the same wall size in the both upper parts and lower parts. So lower part we can see bit thick heart wall here. I hope this is clear to you. I'm using red and blue color here. We draw this arrow, so use the same colors given you. I label the parts of the heart with green color. Okay. I hope you can see this one. If it is not clear, please let me know. Is it clear? Green color, is it clear? Clear to you? Should I use another color? Clear. Okay. I'm using again black color here. So black color it can be. Mm, so I will use the same color. On this one, I will label, your best label. This one, I label just here. I don't label on the diagram itself because I don't have space here. Okay. Is it clear? Okay, we will discuss this in detail, but thing is we actually uh, draw this one clearly. Any problem in drawing and labeling can see the things clearly, right? After your project, please send me the photo of this one to WhatsApp. Then I can check whether your drawing is correct or not. Okay? අද පින්තූරෙන් දොත් එහෙම ඊට පස්සේ මේ මම වැරදියට කියලා කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක නිසා මට හරියට වැරදියට පින්තූරේ බලන්න ඕනි. ඒක නිසා මට මේ පින්තූර මේ ෆොටෝ එකක් එවන්න WhatsApp එකට. Somehow and when I label here you can see here I can label with blue and red color pens, the arrows. Please use the same colors there. I will tell you the reason for that one. Once you finish the drawing also, please let me know quickly. In exam, don't expect that this kind of diagram will come or they ask to draw this one. No, never. After you finish the drawing, please send me a photo. And only I can check whether the drawing is correct or not. Finish? Okay. Sound finish பண்ணி தருவாங்க. Okay, not yet. Okay, no. They're still labeling. Okay. He don't do label inside the picture. Yeah, I don't have any space there. That's why actually I labeled there. One person is finished the drawing and labeled everything. So please be hurry. The parts you can label with other colors. Better if you don't use the blue color because you have used blue color here now. So you can if you can use the black color or something like that other color, that's better. I have used green color because I just have green, blue, red and black. That's why. So that's why I use green color. You have because if I use the blue color again here, it's mess up. Mess no, that's why I didn't use the blue color, but you can use other color, not the blue or red, but you can use black or something else. Yes, it's better if you send the picture right now. Then I can check now. Please raise your hand if you are still drawing, if you want more time. Okay. I hope you can see the labels clear, right? Okay, Nituli also want copy. පළවෙනි දවසේම අමාරු පින්තූරයක් අඳගෙන දුන්නානේ. In the school, sometimes they will not actually draw like this way, but this kind of diagram they will not come. I'm drawing this one to show and clearly teach you the parts of the heart. That's why. Setuki, your diagram is correct. Only few actually mistakes that now it's okay. Okay, just I attending your mistakes there. Setuki, for Setuki, okay, because she said this one. One thing is in your diagram, atrium, right atrium and left atrium. These two atria bit smaller and ventricles are large, bit large. Okay, so in my case, you can see actually their ventricles are not too large or atria are not too small. Okay, so when you actually draw this one next time, now it's okay. Next time, don't go like this. Okay, here the same volume should be there in the four chambers. That's the one thing, certainly. And next mistake is in the labeling. Parliamentary semilunar valve and tricuspid valve. In these two, the arrows are crossed together. So then you will actually, I don't know, this diagram actually is a bit misleading. So while you're actually drawing, don't cross actually the arrows like this way, not only this way diagram. Next time, other diagrams, most of the science don't cross the arrows like this way. So that's the other thing. Otherwise, the picture is solved. Okay. Okay, shall we move to the part? Now, still drawing. Are there anyone who is still drawing? තාම අඳිනවද? ඉවරද? How about Purva and Dinesha? Are you drawing? Shashmika and Nitumri finish?
Yes, teacher.
Shashmika finish. Okay. Nitumri? Okay, now we can actually move to the parts. Now listen carefully. Okay, now we have the clear diagram. Please send me the photo. Okay, send me a photo of your diagram. Okay. So I will erase some parts here. Okay. Now listen carefully. Okay. So here students, when we come into the heart, okay, when we come to the heart, there are four chambers. Okay. There are four chambers in the heart. One minute to actually finish this one. There are four chambers in the heart. Listen carefully. So here, normally, listen carefully, four chambers there. Two chambers are, there are two upper chambers and two lower chambers. The upper chambers are called as atria. The plural name is atria. Atria. Okay. And the we call the singular name is actually here atrium. Okay. So here two atria. Two atria there. So, and again down we have two ventricles. The lower two chambers we call as ventricles. Okay. Two ventricles down. The upper two atria there. And this is the right side and this is the left side. So because of this one, this side we called as right atrium. I don't label much here. Since we call that right atrium. Okay. And this is the left side. So this is we call as left atrium. Okay. And here, this is right side, the ventricle down to ventricles there. So this is we call as right ventricle. And this is we call as left ventricle. Yeah, likewise we have already four chambers there. Clear? And now you can see the right ventricle. These two chambers actually separate. And these two chambers separate, not completely separate. This is separated by the gate, like something, like a gate here. This gate we call as valve. That valve name here is we call as tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve. Valve means we can open when we want, we can close when we want. Okay, so here this is like a gate. Now gate also be like a door. Open and close. So this we can, the heart can actually open and close when it wants. So this gate or this valve we called as tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve is always between right atrium and right ventricle. And between the left atrium and left ventricle, there is a valve again. We call this side bicuspid valve. Bicuspid valve. And another name is, I didn't give this one in the diagram. Another name is we call as mitral valve. Mitral valve. So these two valves, heart can open and close with these two valves when it wants. Clear? Now we discuss four chambers and the two valves between these two. And again, now when we come to the right atrium, listen carefully, the right atrium, there are two openings. Two vessels open to this right atrium. Two vessels open to the right atrium. One vessel we called as superior vena cava. Okay, one vessel we called as superior vena cava. Okay, and the other one we called as inferior vena cava. Okay, superior vena cava, upper one we called as superior vena cava, below one we call the lower one we call as inferior vena cava. Okay, so these two open to the right atrium. And again, when you go to left atrium here, four vessels open. Okay, four vessels open with it. We call them as pulmonary veins. Pulmonary veins. So here four pulmonary veins open to the left atrium. Okay. Now I will actually even explain the function even here. Now you know when we come to the heart main function is pumping blood. Heart main function is pumping blood. When blood pumping happens, how it happens actually? So from this up to right, from this to the right atrium, to the right atrium, first blood comes. Okay, blood comes to the right atrium first through the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Okay, listen carefully. To the right atrium, blood comes to the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. So then what happens is the blood actually filled to the right atrium. Okay, blood filled to the right atrium. When the blood is filled in the right atrium, then this blood passes to the right ventricle. Okay, blood is passed to the right ventricle. How the blood passes here? By opening this tricuspid valve. Okay, by opening the tricuspid valve, blood transfers from right atrium to right ventricle. When the right ventricle is filled with blood, another important thing happens here. When the right ventricle filled with blood, what happens here is, so again erase this one. What happens here is, you know another actually vessel is there. We call this side as a pulmonary artery. Okay. Here what happens is, okay, this is a pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery always start from the left, sorry, right ventricle. This is right ventricle now. Right ventricle. So this is start the pulmonary artery start from the right ventricle. I will write this one here. Pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery. Here what happens is, now pulmonary artery start from the right ventricle. Okay. And again one more thing is there here. As you read in your diagram, there's another one, another vessel start from the left ventricle also. We call this as aorta. And growing like this way. Our this is I label as aorta. So how aorta start? Aorta start from the left ventricle, from the left ventricle. From the left ventricle it start here. So here the mitral valve is there. I am just showing the mitral valve like this. Okay. Now listen carefully. Now we discuss from the, listen carefully. From the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava, the two vessels there. So these two vessels, they bring blood to this right atrium. To the right atrium. It brings the blood to the right atrium. Then what happens is, the right atrium filled with blood. Then right atrium filled with blood. When the right atrium filled with blood, there is a valve we call as tricuspid valve. This tricuspid valve open. I said valve is like a door, like a gate. So the tricuspid valve open, and what happens is the blood in this right atrium comes to the right ventricle. The blood in the right atrium comes to the right ventricle. Okay. What happens is, right ventricle also filled with the blood. Right ventricle also then filled with the blood. Then what happens is, the right ventricle sends the blood to this pulmonary artery. Okay, right ventricle sends the blood to the pulmonary artery. But that is also not easy. There is a gain door. There is again doe-like. Valve is there at the beginning of this pulmonary artery. At the starting point of the pulmonary artery, there is a valve. That valve name I gave there, pulmonary semilunar valve. So here, blood is filled in the right ventricle. So right ventricle push the blood to this pulmonary artery by opening pulmonary semilunar valve. Okay, it opens the semilunar valve and then it pushes the blood to the pulmonary artery. Are you okay with this side? තේරුණාද? superior vena cava inferior vena cava blood අරගෙන එනවා right atrium එකට right atrium එක සම්පූර්ණයෙන් පිරෙනවා. ඒක පිරුණාට පස්සේ යාට දරා ගන්න බෑ. ගොඩක් blood ආවට පස්සේ යා මොකද කරන්නේ? මෙතන තියෙන්නේ tricuspid valve එක open කරලා ඒ blood එක එවනවා right ventricle එකට. right ventricle එකෙන් blood පිරෙනකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? එයා ඒක push කරනවා pulmonary artery එකට. මෙතන තියෙන valve එකක් pulmonary semilunar valve. Pulmonary semilunar valve එක open කරලා එයා blood යවනවා pulmonary artery එකට. Clear? Any doubts? Yes. Okay. Now problem is how this කොහෙන්ද මේ semilunar superior vena cava, how from where do this superior vena cava and inferior vena cava bring blood? From where do they bring blood? And now we know the blood is pushed through the pulmonary artery to where? From where blood comes to the right atrium and from where this to where this right ventricle push the blood. Now that's a problem. Okay, here now we know superior vena cava and inferior vena cava bring blood to right atrium. But problem is from where do they bring blood? Okay, superior vena cava bring the blood. We call it bring deoxygenated blood. We call deoxygenated. I write here deoxygenated. What is meant by deoxygenated? Now you know students, we will discuss even later, but you have the common knowledge there. Blood main function is transportation of oxygen. Main function. There are some function, but main function is transportation of oxygen. So when the blood is with oxygen, when the blood has more oxygen, okay, when the blood has abundant oxygen, we call that blood as oxygenated blood. We call that this as oxygenated blood. When the blood has more oxygen. Okay? When blood has more carbon dioxide, that means when the blood has less amount of oxygen. If it has more carbon dioxide, then it has less oxygen also. So if the blood has less oxygen, it means more carbon dioxide, then that blood is called as deoxygenated. Okay? So actually what we want is oxygenated blood because it has more oxygen. And deoxygenated means less amount of oxygen is there. This blood contains more carbon dioxide. So here what happens is from the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, they bring this deoxygenated blood. From where? Superior vena cava normally they bring the deoxygenated blood from our head, our neck, our hand, like upper part of the body. See, from our upper part of the body, like head, neck, like this hand, from this area, superior vena cava bring the deoxygenated blood. And inferior vena cava bring the deoxygenated blood from lower part of our body, like our legs, from our digestive system, from those kind of area, it brings the blood. So that's the inferior is down, superior is upper. Okay, so upper parts, from the upper part bring, and from the lower part, this one bring. Okay, but if those both bring deoxygenated blood. When the blood comes to the right atrium, it will fill with this deoxygenated blood. Okay, so when I draw the picture, you saw that I use blue color. I told you use blue color for drawing this and use red color for drawing that. Why I may use this color slide that way? Because normally when we draw the diagrams, we use blue color for drawing the oxygenated blood. Because actually blood is not blue color. Okay? So when we cut our heart, we see all the time because the blood actually is the red color only. Yeah, we can't see blue color and red color to differentiate. Okay, blood is red color, but normally when you are drawing, to actually understand this, we use blue color to denote this deoxygenated blood. When this deoxygenated blood actually collected by the atrium, what happens is this tricuspid valve open and will bring the blood to the right ventricle. When the right ventricle fills with blood, what happens is it open this pulmonary semilunar valve and will bring, push the blood to the pulmonary artery. Now problem is pulmonary artery. Where does this pulmonary artery send the blood? Now, if the right ventricle push the blood, where does this blood go? That's the problem. Pulmonary artery send the blood to lungs. Pulmonary meaning is lungs. Pulmonary means Latin name for them to the lungs. So pulmonary meaning is lungs. So pulmonary artery send the blood to the lungs. Why does this pulmonary artery send the blood to lungs? Because lungs have more oxygen. Now you know this actually blood is deoxygenated blood, blue color blood. Blue color actually here you know it's blue color. Why we use? Because the blood is deoxygenated. To have more oxygen, what happens is to get more oxygen, this deoxygenated blood is sent to the lungs. Because lungs have more oxygen. Because you know, we breathe, so while we breathing, we get oxygen. That oxygen is in the lungs. So this deoxygenated blood is sent to the lungs. Through what? Through pulmonary artery. Okay, clear? Now this pulmonary artery send the blood to the lungs, and at the lungs, this blood get oxygen. So when blood get oxygen, what's the name? We are giving name oxygenated. Okay. Now the oxygen blood goes to the lungs, and from the lungs they get blood. We don't discuss that part. That's the kidney part. Okay. It get blood, and when the blood gets lung, we gets the oxygen. Sorry. When the blood gets the oxygen, then that blood we call as oxygenated. Okay. Oxygenated blood again come back to the heart. Okay. Heart cell their blood just to lungs just to get the oxygen. After they get out and get oxygen, it come back to the lung. They come back to the heart. So now the blood is modified blood. Modified means here new version is a fresh one is there because now they have more oxygen. We call them as oxygenated blood. Now oxygenated blood comes back to the heart through what? Through pulmonary veins. There are 4 pulmonary veins. So through these 4 pulmonary veins, oxygenated blood comes back to the we call what left atrium. It comes back to the left atrium there through the pulmonary veins. The same manner here now. What happens is now pulmonary veins send the blood to the left atrium and left atrium filled with the oxygenated blood. And when filled with the oxygenated blood, it opens this valve. We know that is we call as bicuspid valve. Another name is we call mitral valve. So this mitral valve, the bicuspid valve will open and the oxygenated blood in this left atrium pass to this left ventricle. Same as here. Okay. It fills, now it opens this valve and send this blood to the left ventricle. When the left ventricle is filled with blood, what happens is, it opens here another valve at the starting point of aorta. We call aortic semilunar valve. Okay, here now this is aorta. So what happens is now when this is filled with the blood, okay, so it send this blood By opening this, we call this valve as, aortic semilunar valve. So it opens, this aortic semilunar valve open and this oxygenated blood is sent to this aorta. Okay, aorta is very large actually vessel, and aorta is really important one because aorta is the one which sends all the oxygenated blood throughout the body, to our brain, to our liver, to our legs, hands, for everywhere, throughout the body. The blood transportation, blood is here, oxygenated blood transportation happens to this aorta. Okay, so that's really important. So this part you can see here, left side completely contain oxygenated blood. Normally we denote oxygenated blood with red color. That's why I use red color here. Okay, right side normally contain what we call deoxygenated blood. Okay, so that's the important thing. And you can see here now these two, right atrium, left atrium, and right ventricle, left ventricle, they don't actually through there are no any openings there. So what happens is this deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood, they don't mix there. Why don't they mix? Because there is a wall. You can see here. Okay, there is a wall here in between these right side and left side. So there are no any openings. So no any mixing of the deoxygenated and oxygenated blood. Okay, so sometimes we call that there are some holes in the heart. Okay, how this holes comes? Sometimes there are some holes in this wall. Okay, so we have to do a surgery and fix that. Otherwise, it's a problem. Okay, sometimes there are some holes in this wall. So then what happens is this deoxygenated and oxygenated blood mixed together. It's a problem. Okay, when the particular person actually become adult, that's a problem. That's why we have to do a surgery and fix that. Okay, so these are the parts of the heart. And again, thing is, again, one more thing. When you come to walls, okay, when we come to the walls, so when you come to the walls, so you can see here, the pulmonary, sorry, the right atrium and left atrium walls are thin. And what we can see here, ventricles walls are thick. Okay, here we have thick walls, here we have thick walls. Okay, why these walls are thick here, especially when we come to aorta. Okay, in aorta, we have to send blood with very high pressure throughout the body because we have aorta has to send, will transport the blood throughout the body with very high pressure. To give that high pressure to the blood, to send the blood with high pressure, the wall has thick, will become thick. But here, this area, we don't have to push blood with high pressure. Just when the blood will here, it just come here. So they don't require to have a thick wall. So they have just thin wall. But when it was not like that way, they have to push the blood with high pressure. Because of that one, the walls become thick here. Can you understand? Now you know the complete function of the heart. Any doubts? Anything that you didn't understand? මොනවම හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවාද? If I did explain between Sinhala, okay? So, right, superior විනකාව එක්කනේ inferior විනකාව එක්කනේ ඉන්නේ deoxygenated blood. ඒක කියනවා right atrium එකට. Right atrium එක ඊට පස්සේ open කරන tricuspid valve එක, left ventricle එක ඊට පස්සේ පිරෙනවා deoxygenated blood වලින්. ඒක පිරෙනාට පස්සේ මොකද වෙන්නේ? මේ pulmonary semilunar valve එක open වෙලා pulmonary semilunar valve pulmonary artery එකට මේ blood යවනවා. මොන blood? Deoxygenated blood. Pulmonary artery එක මේ blood යවන්නේ lungs වලට. මොකද lungs වලින් තමයි oxygen ගන්න. Oxygen ගත්තොත් oxygenated blood එක එන්නේ pulmonary veins through තමයි එන්නේ. ඇවිල්ලා පිරෙනවා left atrium එකේ. left atrium එක පිරෙනාට පස්සේ blood වලේ ඒක එවනවා left ventricle එකට by opening tricuspid valve. Left ventricle එක මේ aortic semilunar valve එක open කරලා blood එක out ආකට out එකෙන් තමයි මුළු ඇඟ පුරාම body එක පුරාම blood transport කරන්නේ මොනවාද? Oxygenated blood. Okay? So that is really important part. Okay, clear? Okay. Then we can actually write down these things bit. Okay. Because now I explained completely the parts of the heart. Now we have to write down the small note here about the parts of the heart. Okay, you can write down this one. Okay, write this point. Human heart, okay? Because sometimes when it comes to other hearts like frog heart, again fish heart, okay? Their hearts are different. It means they don't have 4 chambers. Fish has 2 chambers only. Frog has 3 chambers. Okay, so especially when it comes to mammals, we can see 4 chambers. So we discuss other mammals, we discuss about human. Okay, right here they not. The human heart has 4 chambers. Human heart has 4 chambers. Human heart has 4 chambers. How many chambers here? Right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. We write those 4. Right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. So let's remember atrium. Atrium means upper one, upper chambers. Lower chambers we call as ventricles. Lower chambers are ventricles, upper chambers are atrium. Okay. Next point. There are valves between atria, okay, plural means plural. Atria. There are valves between atria and ventricles. There are valves between atria and ventricles. Atria and ventricles. Atria and ventricles. The product වේගයෙන් product fast ලියන්නේ පුරුදු වෙන්න වෙනවා. grade 10 වලට ගියාට පස්සේ නැත්නම් ඒකට හදා ගන්න අමාරුයි. ඒකද මම අපේ grade 9 කියන්නේ ඔයාලගේ O levels වලට ඔයාලා ready වෙන්න අවුරුද්ද. එතකොට ටිකක් fast ලියන්න පුරුදු වෙන්න ඕනේ. පොඩ්ඩක් උත්තරයක් අතට ලියන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ. පොඩ්ඩක් හදා ගන්න ඕනේ. මොකද grade 10 වලට ගියාට පස්සේ නැත්නම් ප්‍රශ්න එක වැඩි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට. ඉතින් ඒවා හැම දෙයක් අනුව පුරුදු වෙන්න ගියාට පස්සේ ටිකක් අමාරුයි. Some grade 10 වලට ගියාට පස්සේ ළමයිගේ ලකුණු එකපාරට අඩු වෙනවා. It's normal. Suddenly wrong. Okay, sometimes you might be 90s, 80s, but when you go to grade 10 first term, 60s, like that, 50s. So then imagine the mental stress and mental down, how you become mental down. So it happens normally. Normal thing is it happens normally. But thing is there goes completely different thing, paper styles different, everything different. You don't know how to write the answers properly. You don't have such a practice properly. in grade 9. The grade 9 එකේ වල පුදුරා තිබ්බනම් හරියට උත්තරයක් ලියන්න, වචන කල්පල ලියන්න, පොයින්ටර් ලියන්න, කැවේගෙන් ලියන්න, ටයිම් මැනේජ් කරගන්න. ඒක පුදුරා 9 grade 9 වලදී ඔයාලා ලේසි grade 10 වලට ගියාට පස්සේ අර ඒ ස්කිල්ස් වලට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒකට ඔයාලට පුළුවන් grade 10 සර grade 9 එකේ ඉඳන් ස්කිල්ස් හදාගත්තට පස්සේ grade 10 වලට ගියාට පස්සේ ලේසි අර අමාරු සිලබස් විතරක් අල්ලගන්න තමයි තියෙන්නේ. but ඒ අනිත් කොහොමද ඒවා grade 10 වල ගන්න කියලා පස්සේ කට්ටිය පොඩ්ඩක් අවුල් යන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ සයන්ස් එක පාවින්න ගන්නවා. මොකද්ද සයන්ස් ලකුණු එන්නේම නෑ සයන්ස් ලකුණු කියලා ටීචර් බ්ලේම් කරලා කියන්නේ අන්නේ නේද? grade 9 වලදී පුදු වෙන නිසා අපිටම අර ස්කිල්ස් ටික හදාගන්න grade 10 වලට grade 10 level එකට මොන ස්කිල්ස් හදාගන්න. ඒ fast ලියන්න building වැඩ කරන්න point එකට උත්තරයක් ලියන්න හරි point එකට බලවට අරන් යන්න නැතිද ඒවා we can actually practice there in the class also but you have to actually get that on your mind. So you wrote there are valves between atria and ventricles and that you can write at that point you can write between right atria and right ventricle tricuspid valve. Under that point, okay, under that point you can write between right atria and right ventricle tricuspid valve. Second one is between right left atrium and left ventricle bicuspid valve or mitral valve. You can write it alone because now you know that. Between right atrium and right ventricle tricuspid valve, between left atrium and left ventricle bicuspid valve or mitral valve. Next point. There are different vessels. There are different vessels. There are different vessels connected to heart. There are different vessels connected to heart. There are different vessels connected to heart. Continue. There are two main arteries. There are two main arteries. There are two main arteries. Start from the. There are two main arteries. Start from the heart. Start from the heart. Start from the heart. So you can write here pulmonary artery. Proper right. Okay, just write in short form. Pulmonary artery. You write under this one. Starting from right ventricle. Pulmonary artery. Put another one right. Start from right ventricle. Pulmonary artery. Start from right ventricle. Second, this one is aorta. Start from left ventricle. Aorta start from left ventricle. Next point. Am I so fast? All right. I hope I'm not so fast and I'm not so slow. I'm in the actually that we can manage this my speed here. Okay, next point you can write. There are the main way. Sorry, there are there are ways. There are ways open to the heart. 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 So here you can write under that one. Okay. Superior Vinahava. Don't write a short form. I just write here because I have limited space here. Superior Vinahava, inferior Vinahava. Draw a bracket here. Open to the right atrium. And then next one is pulmonary artery. Sorry, pulmonary veins. Pulmonary veins open to the left atrium. And the right lens. Open to the left atrium. Okay. Next point. There are valves. There are valves. There are valves. At the starting point of the arteries. There are valves at the starting point of the arteries. Now you know what is there? Pulmonary artery now. There are valves at the starting point of the arteries, and they are called as they are called as and they are called as and they are called as semilunar valves. Semilunar valve. Semilunar valve. Semilunar valve. So you can write here that one. Pulmonary semilunar valve. At the starting of pulmonary artery, starting point of pulmonary artery. Okay. And again, aortic semilunar valve. The starting point of aorta. in the starting point of power. Okay, any doubts here? Any single doubts? Heart එකේ parts ඔක්කොම කතා කරලා. මොනවද doubts තියෙනවාද? No? I will share a small actually video even here about the actually the simple things there. But for the grade 9 months, this one is enough. That's why I'm not actually discussing harder one here. So you can watch even this one. And I'm here students actually we don't want to actually study about cardiac muscles, those things. Cardiac is heart. Another name for the heart is cardiac. We use related to the heart. And you can see here the blue color and red color. So blue color is what? It means these cells transport deoxygenated blood. That's why they are blue color. In the animations and in the drawings we show blue color, but actually we can't see such a blue color vessels or red color vessels in our body. Okay, normally in the deoxygenated blood, there is a slight dark color. It is slight dark color is there. When you actually see the blood, the real blood, okay, if the blood is deoxygenated, that's a slightly dark color. But actually, it will not much notice to our eyes also. And normally, oxygenated blood has actually sharp, very bright red colors there. Okay, that's the slight difference between these two, but we can't see red and blue color in our body. Okay, so just the animations and drawings to actually understand this and clearly, they have used these color codes. Now, can you see this is the right atrium. This is the right ventricle. What is this valve here? Tricuspid valve. Can you see here? This is the tricuspid valve. Okay. And here now this transport to the pulmonary artery. And what is this valve here? Now here, right atrium, right ventricle, tricuspid valve. From the right ventricle, you can see here the vessel open. Can you see it here? This is missing one, right? So here, from the right ventricle, another valve, vessel open here. This vessel is what? Pulmonary artery. So pulmonary artery, can you see here? Tricuspid valve is there. This is tricuspid valve. No, sorry. So here also, here the pulmonary arteries, they bring the blood to the left atrium, then it passes through the mitral valve, here bicuspid valve to the left ventricle. Left ventricle pass that blood to the aorta. Now can you see at the aorta? It comes, it is down here. Can you see here? It's actually beneath, down here. Now it's actually the upper part, upper, you can see here it's actually going on top of the aorta. Pulmonary artery goes. So aorta is actually down. So aorta you can see here, there is a bicuspid valve and aorta transport valve. Oxygenated blood is parts of the So here we discuss actually here the separate design everything. Next day, not today. Next day we discuss those separate design everything. Next. Okay. Okay, so that's all about today's one. And again, one more thing. I will share this and then we can stop this. However, we started a bit late now. So now again, I'm coming to the first diagram what I showed you. Okay, now you can understand, right? At the beginning, you were actually blank with this, and now you have done it. Okay, so superior vena cava is there, it opens the right atrium. Inferior vena cava is there, it also open here to the right atrium, and you can see here there is a tricuspid valve. This is the right ventricle. Okay, between the right ventricle and right atrium, tricuspid valve. And for the right ventricle, you can see here pulmonary artery start. There is a pulmonary semilunar, just pulmonary valve, pulmonary semilunar valve is there. And again, you can see here in the left side, left atrium, left ventricle. In between this one, you can see here mitral valve is there, and pulmonary vein is open to the left atrium, and from the left ventricle, aorta start, and the starting point of aorta, aortic, not just aortic valve, aortic semilunar valve is there. Okay. Now you have time. Okay, from that my drawing, now you actually have the proper idea of the parts of the heart. Now you can actually label any diagram. If they give any diagram, now you can actually label them because now you have the idea where are they located. Clear? Okay. Any doubt? Any problem? මොනවා හරි තේරෙන්න තරම් තිබුණාද? සම්පූර්ණ heart එකේ parts තේරුණාද? දැන් ඔයාලට පුළුවන් මේක ඔයාලගේ ස්කෝල් වලට ගිහිල්ලා විද්‍යාලයට කියලා දෙන්න. That's really important. Okay. heart එක කියලා දෙනවා කියන්නේ මේ වගේ lesson එකක් සෑහෙනවට මතක හිටිනවා. මේක පොඩ්ඩක් පුළුවන් නම් අඳලා ගන්න. ළමයි තව යාළුවෙක් කියලා දෙනවා. ඔයාලට ඒක මතක හිටිනවා. Okay. Clear? No doubts. එහෙමකට ප්‍රශ්න මොනවද අහන්න පුළුවන් නේ? No problem. ඕනේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඕන දෙයක් අහන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ හරිම කොන්ෆිඩන්ට් එකක ඉන්නේ heart එකේ කොටස් ඔක්කොම දන්නවා, ෆන්ක්ෂන් එක වෙන විදිහ දන්නවා කියලා. හරි. අපි ප්‍රශ්න අහමු. හැබැයි අද නෙවෙයි. But next day I will sometimes ask the questions. Okay. So it's now thing is now when you come next day, don't just now after you close the books today, don't open the books next Thursday 6:30. Okay. So please look at this, just have to read these books and come because otherwise you will not understand the next day lesson because we actually have to discuss some more things next day. So to understand this one clearly, definitely you should have the upper idea about the parts of the heart. So please refer the notes. Now you have 1 week. No, you can teach to your family member, to your nangi, or only at least you can actually teach to them. And in the school also you can teach this one with one of your friends. Okay, you will remember, or you will remember this one then. Okay, that's really good thing for the both side, to you and your friend. So do like that way. And next day then we will meet. I hope my speed is okay and you got this one very clearly. And yeah, okay. So I want your comment also about the class because most of you are still new for the class. So please send a comment about the class to the my WhatsApp. I expect highly your comment. And as I told you, I will upload the recordings also. Plus, I will upload the link for the Google Sheet to get your idea of time slot for the paper class. So then we can start the paper class for next month. So yeah, that's all for today. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson also today. And so we'll meet then next day. Okay? Okay then. Goodbye, students. And good night. You meet next.
Goodbye, teacher.
Okay?